Hello everybody and welcome to a kind of a different style of video for us. So this is going to be kind of a more of a vloggy type video. It's also going to be the introduction of a new YouTube playlist because we're kind of starting a big giant project for the Twitchiest community. And that is going to be, we are starting what we are calling the Smite Twitchy League. So the STL and all of this fun stuff you can see in front of you is a part of this. So this kind of came out of nowhere. And there's been a lot of work put in by various community members in order to get this all up and running that we've been testing this week. So long story short, what this is this is a community driven it's its own MMR system, it's its own matchmaking system, and there's going to be rewards and prizes for participating in it. So basically, imagine if you could have your ranked games with full bans, full MMR, but while playing with your friends so you don't have to worry about toxicity. And while potentially fighting for prizes at the end of a season, which is just going to be every single month. So if that sounds enticing to you, well, then this is kind of what this is about. It's also going to provide us with some really good Smite content. We've already had some really fantastic games come from this series, which I'm very excited about. So at a baseline level, how do you play in this? This is a Twitchy subscriber league, so as long as you are a sub on Twitch, then congratulations, you can participate, and the password is dropped into the sub-only section on Discord. So make sure that you're a sub on Twitch, make sure that you're a member of the Discord so you can have the password in order to get into these games. When we make them, we will be playing them all basically during the stream. Unless I have a God request, I'm not going to be doing these ranked games because obviously I don't want to screw up anybody's MMR by having to play, you know, Ganesh middle with my eyes closed kind of thing. So outside of God requests, these are the games that we are going to be playing. And how they basically work is we get everybody into a match. We get all 10 people. Everybody will have their own personal MMR number, or in this case, TMR, Twitchy matchmaking rating. And we put everybody's name over here. So you can see during our test run this week, we had about 70 unique players, and we can track all of their ELO. So the ELO starts at 1500, the baseline ELO. As you win games, your ELO goes up. As you lose games, your ELO goes down, and there's some stuff dependent on the match length in there for how much ELO you gain, how much ELO you lose. So we put all the names over here, bada bing, bada boom. It organizes everybody. It puts the teams together on order and chaos side. Now, this does not use the current Smite matchmaking system because I don't like it. A part of the reason why we're doing this is because we wanted better, higher quality games. And in order to do that, we had to come up with our own MMR system. And part of that is we're actually going back and using an old Smite system. So right now, all Smite cares about is the average ELOs on the team, which in theory sounds nice to get the teams as close as possible. But what it also ends up doing is it kind of screws over outliers if your ELO's kind of really high or kind of really low, because then in order to average it out, it has to throw a really high or really low onto the team. And then you've got like one person over here who's way out of everybody's league. And in order to even out the team, it throws like 4 bronze players onto a Grandmaster's team. And then the other team has like 5 gold platinums. And it's like, this is even matchmaking. It is absolutely not even matchmaking. That is not how any of this works. So instead, it is going to use the old system where basically you have the number 1 player on one team, so the other team gets 2 and 3. And then the next team gets 4 and 5, back and forth, etc., so that you're actually organizing the 10 players in the game as even as they can be that are already in the match, not necessarily just like, okay, we got one really high guy, one really low guy. They have to be on the same team to even it out. So we're going to be using that old matchmaking system, which has already worked absolute wonders. So on top of the fact that this is going to give us great Smite game content, it's also going to give us a bunch of other content that I am really excited for. And that's what all of these numbers are on your screen. So on top of the fact that you get a competitive league with less toxicity to no toxicity, because we could literally just ban people from participating if they're being toxic, so you can get better practice in. We can also extrapolate some really, really cool numbers that we simply don't have access to through the regular game of Smite. So for example, you can see over here, your boy got #1 in his little practice league while we were all doing this. So you can see that my MMR was 2005, so I was give or take in diamond. Then it organizes it so you can see the players that were in platinum, the players that were in gold, the players that lost more games, they had less elo, etc. And you can also see what the elo gains in each role were. So you as a personal player playing, maybe one game you play ADC, you get a couple of games in mid, you get a couple in solo, you can actually see the roles that you're winning and losing in. So just for me, you can see I had a positive win rate in the ADC jungle mid role, but I actually had an overall negative win rate in the solo and support role. I actually lost elo in general in those roles. So you as a personal player can actually see the roles that you're winning or losing more in, which is pretty cool from a personal level. But the data that I'm really excited for is we are also tracking the gods and their elo. And so what we can do with all this data is we can see that Achilles right now, 1670. He's actually got a really solid win ratio, and it's coming in the roles of jungle and solo. So we can actually extrapolate some of this data for things like tier lists in order to have accurate tier lists of literally like how the gods are performing, because we will have actual factual numbers for them. We can do things like top 5 mid laners, solo laners, all that kind of stuff, because we'll be able to see the gods and their performance within those roles. Maybe a god is doing really well in one role, but not so well in another. Down here for Guan Yu. Guan Yu's got a win rate of 90 right there in the jungle, but he's got -30 in solo, which means that he's been winning over in the jungle, but actually losing in the solo lane in our games. Now, this is limited data right now. This is only from 2 days. So I think this was like 22 games total or so. But the goal is to have these be resetting once every month. So you go through a whole month, you get all that data, and then it restarts again the next month. So that way new players can come in, and we'll give prizes out to everybody at the end. As far as the pricing is concerned, this is kind of our test month, so we're going to see how it goes. But the top 5 elos at the end of the month are each going to get 3,500 gems. So $50 worth of gems for everybody in the top 5. I will, of course, not include myself. And we will do some bonus crowdfunding through our Nexus store. 25% of the revenue that we make through the Nexus store, I will also add that on top of the prize pool for the month. So whatever our Nexus store makes during the month of November, 25% of that I'll put back into the prize pool for the series, and we will add some more players to the list in order to get them gems. So let's say it adds another, $100 to it. That's another 2 players. Now 7 players are all going to get their gems instead of just 5 players. And we can obviously increase the amount of gems and all that kind of good stuff. But November 1st is going to be the official start date for this. It's when all this data is going to count. So we're going to wipe all this data. Basically, this was all for testing purposes. We're going to wipe all of this data. And then November 1st, the league is going to start. And then the last stream day of the month, which I do believe is going to be November 30th, which should be a Tuesday, will be the last day of the month. That's when all the winners will be decided. We'll get to see everybody's elos. We'll get to look at all the different numbers, extrapolate some data from it, and hopefully we can use this not only as a way to make fun, engaging content on the stream, where people get to actually come out and play and have a competitive environment, have a great time, get to meet some friends. We get people in the Discord, which is awesome, which is coming out not just to play Smite, but a bunch of other games as well. You can see what roles you're doing good in, what roles you're not doing good in. You can see what gods are going to be doing good, what gods are struggling with, what gods are doing correctly, what roles they're doing great in, what roles they're not doing so good in, and we'll be able to talk about all that data at the end of every month, which means it'll stay updated and fresh, so it'll always be relevant statistics. A patch comes through, we might see a god drop down from month to month, all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited and very happy with all the work that the community has put into this stuff in order to make it happen. We've had some fantastic matches already using this system, so I'm very excited for this. And all of this is actually going to be publicly accessible, so if you want to actually look at this document from time to time, you can come by the stream, and it is always publicly accessible. I might actually put the link to it in the YouTube description as well, so check down there, and so you'll be able to see this information. You're like, I wonder how, you know, this god is doing right now that I like to play. You can come in and literally see, and we got 22 games in like 2 days, so we're talking throughout a month, probably a couple hundred games worth of data, which should give you a very accurate look into so many different things, Smite. So long story short, Smite Twitchy League, come out, have a good time, get a nice competitive environment while avoiding the toxicity of ranked, while getting what I consider to be a superior matchmaking system to have better, stronger games that you have a good time with your friends with at the same time. And instead of getting a slap in the hiney at the end of the ranked season, because you get nothing, you can actually win some gems too. So there's actually a purpose to come out and play. So I'm very excited for all of this. I hope you guys are excited too. And we're gonna start uploading some games. I'll make a playlist for like the Smite Twitchy League. It'll also be uploaded to like the regular Smite gameplay playlist, but that way you specifically know which games have been made custom by us with our own MMR and all that good stuff, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy the league, and hey, come out and participate in the league as well, guys. And as always, have a twitching day, y'all. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support, and have a twitching day, y'all.